Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Mark back after, well, over a year now on Mark's Aquatics. It's been a long time, but I'm looking forward to coming back with a few more videos for you. So I thought on this first video coming back, I'd give you a little update on the Fluval Evo that we set up, probably about 2 years ago now. And as you can see, a lot's happened and a lot's changed. We had, I'm not sure if you want to go back and look at the other videos, they're all there on my playlists if you want to have a look. But you can see all the different corals now and different things and anemones. The bubble tipped anemones, I've got my trusty tongs out as usual. Here they are to do a bit of poking. And so you can see what's going on. But we've got the big flower anemone down there. We've still got that guy and that lovely little pink tip anemone there as well. But the tricolour bubble tips, you can see, have gone absolutely mad. I'll give you a view from the top very shortly, and you can see how much they've spread. They've gone from one, I think there's around 15 in here now. They've kept spreading, splitting and spreading over time, and they're looking absolutely fantastic in here now. Lots and lots of things have grown. We've got the pulse xenia there, pulsing xenia, that's doing really well, and obviously the green star polyps, which you can see now, which have near enough fully encased the whole tank. There's a little gap down the side there, but this is chasing its way down. Got a little bit of algae growing on the glass there. I lost my last turbo snail a couple of weeks ago, so there's nothing to graze on it apart from one little sea urchin which came in as a tiny little one. I never even knew it was in there, to be honest. But we got another little patch which I put down here, which is starting to grow, starting to come across the glass, but we'll cut that back as it grows along and encourage it to grow the other way, and that'll fill that side up then. So I reckon within the next 6 months, hopefully, that should be all covered, and so we'll have a completely enclosed tank, which is absolutely fantastic. Nothing in here at the moment, sadly. My pair of clownfish, they were nearly 15 years old, and I lost them probably around a month ago now. Devastated to lose them. The strange thing is, she died first, and I think it was maybe 2 weeks later on he passed away as well, probably pining and missing her, not sure, but that's all I can put it down to, because they were a very, very close knit little pair of clownfish. They were beautiful little pair, and they used to nest under there, as you know from previous videos. They used to lay their eggs under there all the time, and we bred them. They're the ones we bred out in the coral room in that series of tanks where I did the breeding project, and we had quite a few babies off of those two as well. But they regularly laid, every 2 weeks they laid eggs. They brought them up, and then if you're not familiar with clownfish, they actually clean them, make sure as you see them fanning the eggs away and keeping them nice and clean, keeping them free of bacteria and fungus and algae and all that kind of stuff. And then they hatch over night time, but sadly, as soon as they do hatch, they're not parental, so they will, as soon as the lights come back on, the anemones probably take a lot out, the filter takes a few out, and they will eat the babies as soon as the light comes back on. So because normally in the wild, what happens is at night time everyone's gone to sleep, and then they hatch in the night time, they drift away in the current, feed on the phytoplankton, and then grow up. And then when they get big enough, then they go back down to the seabed, and then we have more clownfish lurking around the reef, hosting different anemones along the way. But yeah, it's all looking great in here. I've changed the sand. I just recently put some more sand in here as well, as you can see, and we've got a little bit of few little bits and bobs, algae growing on there, a little bit of bubbles coming up from the algae creating the oxygen. But apart from that, it will settle down in a couple of weeks, just like a diatom phase which grows on there. It's the first sort of algae in different forms that you get in there. But once that clears up, it'll be nice and white, and I'll get a couple of cleaners back in there. Stick it in the comment sections below, guys and girls, what you think I should put in this tank next, because the only thing that's actually living in there now is a little crab who lives down in that hole there. He decided he was going to excavate that shell out, throw him out, and he lives in there. He only comes out at night, but he's a little scavenging crab. He doesn't do anything any harm, so I've left him in there. And we've got the spiny urchin, which I might be able to find you, which is a jet black one with little white bits on, which I haven't seen before. Like I said, he turned up on a bit of live rock from one of the shipments I had in a long time ago. The Gagonian's doing absolutely fantastic, as you can see. Little bits die off here and there, and then afterwards you get these little branches come out, and it just keeps going. It's absolutely lovely. It's photosynthetic, so it lives on the light, loves to feed on the light, doesn't really feed it. I do put the reefroids in there now and again to keep that and keep all the system going. I do keep putting it in there as well at the moment, even though the fish have gone. I still feed the tank because I want to keep that bacteria going for the new inhabitants that are going in there, because we don't want a little crash going on with ammonia problems and things when I start feeding it again. So it doesn't hurt to keep feeding your tank, all right guys, when you haven't got anything in there. Obviously I've got to feed the anemones. I do that once every 2 weeks. A little bit of prawn or a shrimp or a little bit of fish, and just drop it down. They soon grab hold of it. In fact, while you're here, I think I'll feed those two at the front there, because they're very greedy guys, and they like their bit of prawns or mussels or anything really, squid. And I'll show you them feeding, okay? Anyway, it's fantastic to be back. Looking forward to making more videos. Not sure which route I'm going to go on at the moment. Might go back to some of the basic stuff for some of you new and up and coming guys. Let me know what you'd like to see on the channel for future videos that I can put up for you. Yeah, the reason really why I packed it in for such a long time was just the power really. I mean, I had so many tanks running. The electric went up extortionately high, and with not having it in the house, so the heaters were going all the time, and it was absolutely costing a fortune. And not being a big channel, I didn't have the funds to keep it going, sadly, or I would have done. But there you go, needs must, family first and all that. So I had to put that all on the back burner until now. But power's coming down a bit, and I might do another one of those cold water sea tanks, which I have actually still got running in the workshop, still going. And I thought we might get into there. I've got one goby left in there from the tank many moons ago when I was doing the Welsh UK tank cold water system tank. So we might be doing some little trips down the beach and finding some more bits to put in there. It should be interesting for you guys to watch. A bit of foraging on the beach, which is always interesting to do. And we can go on from there, which will be absolutely brilliant. Right, I've reset you up on the anemones that I intend to feed. Now I've got some little bits of, pardon me, little bits of shrimp, prawn in there, whatever you want to call it. And I've got a couple of nice big chunks, and I'm just going to get it in the tongs. Just remember guys, as I've always said in my other videos, keep your hands out of the tank as much as you can. A lot of people clean their hands, they get soap and different detergents on their hands, and then they decide to put their hands in the tank and they make it twice as worse. So if you've got long tongs like that, it's the best thing to do. And you're just going to see that come into view in a minute, and you'll see him grab hold of it. Bang, look at that. It's a very, very voracious eater, this guy, and it won't take him long to consume that lot. And we'll give his mate some as well, because I can see he's unhappy. There you go, mate. Bang, there he goes. He's got it. As you can see, that grab response, not quite as quick as the sunflower anemone, but not too bad. Now they will completely engulf that in no time at all. They were telling me they were starving. Anyway, we've got those fed now. So what I might do now, actually, while I'm here, I will adjust you now, and we'll go from a top angle, and I'll show you how those bubble tip anemones have spread throughout the system, okay? Okay, there you go. There's a nice little bird's eye view of the aquarium. Now you can see how many of those tricolour bubble tips are in there now. They are absolutely all over the place. We got them right on the top there, right in the filter, near enough, not on the filter, sorry, by the, that is, believe it or not, that is the returns for the from the main pump. That's blowing the water back into the system on that twin pipe. So for those of you that have got the new Fluval Evos, you'll know what I mean. And that has completely been encased by the green star polyps. And we've got one right behind there, we've got another one there, and as you can see, they are literally absolutely everywhere. Sorry about the little bulbs, a little glare from the lights there, but we can't help that. But we've got all kinds of different things lurking around in here now. There's all the little insects, the copepods. They're all breeding like crazy, because the clownfish used to predate on those all the time really, but now there's nothing in there to eat them. They've gone absolutely mad, and with the sand change as well, that's created that diatom phase, which has created a lot of food for them, and they're all over the place down on the side of the glass there. I'll try and get you a close-up of those little guys in a while. But it's exciting to be back in the tank talking to you guys again. I must admit, it's been a long time, and it's always a little bit nervous coming back. Are you going to be as good as before? And all those sort of things go racing through your brain. But I'm sure I'll get back into it quite quickly. As you can see there, the green star polyps, they come right up to the top and they literally grow out of the tank. It's quite amazing to see actually. I'll just do a slow pan around. I'll try and be as smooth as I can. You can see there, some of it's fallen away, but where it's fallen away, it's starting to grow back out of the back of it, and it will create a new little leg. But as you can see, it's absolutely covered. Look, and you can see by the weir, look at that, that is out the water, it's growing out the water, but as long as that film of water seeps up it and keeps it hydrated, it's going to be fine. There's my little media bag in there with the heater going through the weir. Most of the time, well, once every couple of weeks I would say, I've got to trim that completely off because it starts blocking up the filter then. But there's that Gorgonian, that's absolutely stunning now. Look at that. But those couple of little favia corals in there, nice little favia growing in the bottom there, he's doing really well. Some little fan worms as well. I'll try and get you closer to them now actually. Oh, look at that, it's a nice little close up there of the anemone. And let's move on to his mate next door and see what he's got. Some beautiful colours on that, really does glow nice under the blue actinic lights in the evening. And then we've got that lovely pulsing xenia, look at that, just blowing away, pulsing away. And it's behaved itself, because well, I'll tell you what, it's probably not behaved itself, but it's the anemones that are all around it, keeping it in check and stopping it from spreading. Because there's one little splinter group which has run off over the back there, if you can see, just at the back, pulsing away, but he's on a rock of his own, so I can move that one around if it starts getting out of control, because it can take over your tank quite quickly, that stuff, as we've spoken about before. We've got about 2 or 3 little Aptasia left in there. I did have a filefish in there for a while and a few peppermint shrimps, but I think the clownfish decided they were fair game. But there's a couple of those guys left in there, but I've got some treatment for those, so we'll get rid of those little guys because they can be an absolute curse in a tank if you don't keep them in check. And just another little look at those bubble anemones. Look at that, it's absolutely amazing. I've watched one split one night. It's a shame that I didn't film it because it happens so quickly. You'll see them, they'll close up, and then one half of the foot which attaches them to the rock will drift away slowly, walk away, and the other half will stay stuck to whatever it's stuck to, and then it splits right through the middle and then recirculates itself around and creates a new mouth in the middle, and then we have another one. And it happened quite quickly. Well, I couldn't believe how quickly it actually took place, to be honest. But look at that. Oh, there's that little pulsing xenia there right at the bottom in the middle. Yeah, this little guy was tiny when we put him in there. It was on an actual plug from the coral room, and it's just completely engulfed the plug it was on, and now it's creeping across the sand. It's quite happy there, so I'm going to leave it for the time being. I lifted him up when I put the new sand in. When I replaced the sand, just carefully put him back down, and he's been there for a couple of weeks now. He was a little bit further back, but I've moved him forward, and he seems to be quite happy now. He puts out an absolutely maze of tentacles, no pun intended, every single night. Hundreds and hundreds of little white tentacles come out to catch the prey in the evening time, little copepods and things that come out, obviously for the phytoplankton that it would be doing and catching in the sea, which it's just doing in the system. So I put in mysis shrimp and different things like that to feed them of a night time as well, just to supplement feed them, because as you know they live off the light, but they hunt at night as well. So they're dual feeders, as are all corals, or most corals. And we'll take you for a little wander around that way. Look at that, those 2 big bits of prawn that we gave them, completely gone, back open again, ready for some more. And if I give him another piece, he would eat that as well, believe it or not. But don't go overfeeding your anemones, because it's a lot of food in there and it can create little ammonia spikes now and again, so you've got to be careful there, okay guys? Look at that, like little feathers, absolutely beautiful. Anyway, who's coming? Let me know who you've been watching while I've been away. That'd be interesting to know what you guys and who you've been watching since I've been away, and Who's good on the block these days? Who's putting out good content? Anyway, guys, I'm sorry about all the comments. I literally have not been online for a long time. I know a lot of you guys, even the wife's been saying you've been getting messages here and there, but I just wasn't answering any messages, sadly. But I'm back on the ball now, so hopefully I'll go back through, and if any of you guys are still interested and still want to hear from me, I'll answer some of your questions, and we can go from there. Yeah, one of the things I wouldn't mind getting back into again is shrimps, because I absolutely love those. That's what I really started off on when I first started the channel, really. Was in the little shrimp cupboard back in the house, and I was doing all those sakuras and different shrimps there, and the cherries, cobalts and all that, different colour ones. It was absolutely fun. You know, the crystal reds, crystal blacks, brilliant stuff. There's some really nice ones back on the market now. I've been having a look, so give me a shout if you want to see some shrimpy type videos on how to breed those and different ways of bringing them up and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comment section below. Now, looking through the tank, you guys have probably all thought, oh no, he's got some of that bryopsis weed in there, and you'd be right. I have. Nasty little piece there. I did have a crab in there, a little Mithrax crab, and he did an amazing job of keeping that down, and that is another thing that can get out of hand. So it's best to, I've always found it's best to keep predators of it in there. I mean, anything like a sea lettuce, or sorry, a sea hare, they're fantastic to eat this stuff. They love it. But when they run out and they've got no other food, they can die. So if you can borrow one off of somebody, or maybe do a deal with your local centre or whatever, just to buy one to clear it out of your tank, because they will gnaw it right down to the bare rock and it won't come back at all. Hydrogen peroxide's another way. Haven't tried that, to be honest. Might give that one a go first, but it's quite isolated where it is. It's not growing anywhere else apart from that little piece right there. You can see it from the top any better. No, I think the lights are getting in the way there, but that's it. It's just on that little nub at the end, and that's all it is. It's just growing there, and I just take it off now and again when it gets a bit too much, but it's not hurting anything. As I say, nature, everything has a place in nature, so it just depends on how you feel about it personally. There's lots of little critters that will eat it. So Mithrax crabs will, sea hares will, some hermit crabs will, but it's a very aggressive and hard thing to get rid of. It really is, and I wouldn't go down the chemical route if I was you, because you will upset you know, that biodiversity in your tank. So I wouldn't go down that road. Anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you, I think, for now. I'm going to have to work out now. I've just done this video, so I'm going to try and work out all my editing software now, which I haven't used for a year. And that's going to be the next the next mission to get all that going, and to try and make head or tail of that and make something of this video. So I hope you enjoy it. It's nice to be back. Give me a thumbs up in the old comment section below if you're happy to see me back or whatever, or thumbs down if you're not. I don't care, as you know. But it's lovely to be back. Looking forward to having a chat with you guys. And as always, take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next edition of Mark's Aquatics. Bye for now.